What's up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm Rasul. My name is Panya. I'm here to acknowledge your frequency, to alter your consciousness, to have your mind to transcend about the deprivation, to ascend to this lesser room here on earth. Invite a warning spirit here and now, not delaying time. The peaceful warrior is the one that is fluidity, flow, emotion, movements, simultaneously with the love bliss. It's totally immersed within that peaceful spirit. It is a great understanding. Observations, clairvoyance. I'm just kidding. You can everyone can hear an airplane right now. So when one have the understanding, that is not hasty, that is not of the spirit exalted in the foul defilements, faulty. So you have to be in well-poised, always serenity, serene and calmness, cool, peace present, flooded of your mind, saturated your whole being, spiritually embodied the rules of the peaceful warrior, my heart spirits, the sincerely to be at peace and wish everyone at peace with the goodwill to all sentient beings, because we know how it is with the empath being the empathy, the love of the all things of the eco family, and which are good, that is permeated the mind, the body, and cast out all the fear. So have fear not, and have love instead. As I am now living and enjoy you as expectancies of the best, as you expect yourself, the expectations of giving yourself fully, totally immersed, and the mind form all. That is no worry, that is no doubt, that is with the decisions of the decision making, not indecision, doubt, or worry. And the world is truth as your word is truth, and the sun shine upon you forth to dissolve all negativities. Although sometimes we may have the habits of the emotion within ourselves that is maybe wounded from the childhood, but we have to forgive ourselves and forgive others, and also bring our attention here in the present time. As everyone we meet, as we also open the gateway from our heart to theirs, and as I cultivate within the present of this being, spirits present of this present time now, it is the heart of opening and like a pond of park and just flooded with everything, welcoming all the light and the light-minded individual, understanding from within that this is here that have been made for all of us to come in, to play, to come in, to give this talk. And I give the gratitude sincerely for humbling myself, and also truly in the goodness and the beauty and the wonder that is flowing each and every one of us, just like a transient in the transit center, that it just come and go, just like the cloud mind thoughts and the process of it. We just need to calibrate the cognitive apparatus from the goodness and the beauty and the flow into one life. So as we all come to life, most of the time I felt like we missed some opportunity to come and enjoy ourselves with nature as well too. And every time when you go come into nature, you recollect the time when you are with your friend, with your family, and uplifting the heart for all that has come to me, and the mind and the life and the affair. The grateful heart brings the heart and the mind, the intimate with the union of oneself and with nature, who are of us by spirit, within the law of the universe, the Lord of it all. Am I grateful and thankful for exalting the heart that leads me along the pathway by which all the good things has come and will come, and continue to propelling that goodness as goodness, grace as good God. And it is the Father within that does the work, and we be human, and we don't just be doing the work, we also being by in tune and sharing. And I see the no need for the force of creating a way of a faith when we have the faith, and keep it with the promises within ourselves without even dispel it, but to not demoted but devoted. And it is the path clear, and it is the meant for the willingness, the right time to be fulfillment and fulfilled it, that flooded with the graceful heart. This is why I really recommend that we all do the deep work in the core, into a reservoir in the mind heart coherence connectivities with the peaceful warrior. It's the work on yourself that comes and bring your best of your ability with the friend that we have for yourself, the best self, the self-love, the intuition that will take you to the another dimension of the fourth, and also to the sixth that is all here with the third, that we have the six senses of the self-acceptance, self-esteem, because this will allow you to have the uncritical observation of yourself and to be more gentle, be able to look at yourself in the mirror without judging yourself, but to accept yourself for you being you, and be the mark of that peaceful warrior in the darkness conscious. We see and bring it to light, because we share our own lights, we share others our own lights to them, to shine, to let them know their darkness in them. And also, it's not like we don't have darkness, we do, within the subconscious elements that have been pre-programmed when we were little, seeing all the televisions that are playing the movies, that assimilation of a lot of the killings, including video games too. So I'm not refusing it, and to look at the source of the creation within ourselves, within yourself. So you got to see, and what has been externalized, when we see visually, that it's become internalized in the world of our dimension here. And sometimes the movies is portraying into reality projection of what will happen, right? The world through people. Environmental, it's a circumstance, it's a situation. That's why I say it's an environment, and it's mental, and it's information that serve us and say that this is what happened. Is revealed the movie, the fictions that become fact, or it will be inspired by the true story, you know. But it's also based on a true story. Reveal itself that will shock us, you know. You see, you hear, as you will be all together in this together. I wouldn't say afraid, but don't say ashamed as well too. Those who watching this, viewing this, and projecting and saying, putting word in other people's mouth, saying that they shame you, shame on you for saying that. Because have you ever known such a lowly creature? What he say is that it may occur when you first have this realizations, when you realize that that's not what the light would say. The dark will twist the story and make the circumstances the other way around. So you need to use discernment. Use your self-reflections of the day and the night, so you won't have to come to just one narrow-minded, because there's many pathways that you have to see, to utilize your own critical thinking. And when you see, you might feel ashamed because you are being judgmental. You are only seeing one side fit all approach, and you're not giving yourself the opportunity to use your critical thinking. You need to learn how to think, because you didn't know how to learn how to think, because they only show us how to do, show us this is what you should learn, but not another option. That's why self-education is very important. So, and when you're assuming that other people are shaming you, being who you are right now, is to discover, to start all over again, to evolve yourself from the lowly vibrations of energies and lift yourself higher for self-love, self-actualization is the goal. That is the journey, and the journey is as important as the destinations. Just like the airplane or the rocket, the jet, it has a destination, but the journey itself is pretty radical, because you get to have fun and enjoy. So wherever you go, you got to be there with all your heart in that moment, in time and space, reality, in a journey that you are cruising. You enjoy that here now, not delaying time, because the destination, they are one of many of us that might have a bias towards the destinations, right? But the destination itself, it is the journey that we will envision and see. The vision you see yourself, that's that you are the winner of life, the victorious. Be victorious in life. As we bring the recruiting success of bringing the forth of the desire, that we failing to recognize that the journey is revealing and contributing to our own happiness and our desire, as we identify what it is in our identity. Because some of us may have the identity crisis because of that situation, the circumstances that we were in, the crisis, right? So our identity is to rediscover ourselves in the recreation to recreate ourselves in the environmental, through the people of the environment and circumstances and information of the real life scenario. And we refuse to look at it the way that they wanted to have us to look at, to see, because what we turn our face away from, that does not matter, because what matters is you matters. So you need to look within yourself. That's where you go to deep work. That's where you go to that shadow work, in other words. That's where you go see in yourself, get in tune yourself, or be out with nature to rediscover. Sometimes we release the shame within. We become more acceptance. You got to release it, transcend it. There's shame, sure. No one is perfect. We all have made mistakes. And understand that what we have create and recreate and co-create is that it's a reflection of being acceptance, accepting who we are, and understanding that we have flaws, and understand that there is some viewpoint, pleasantly peaceful warrior, that we are here to make the better and put in the efforts and have the pleasant of this physique, of this discovery. And as we creating our reality, you will have to agree that the times that we put in the work, we just got to be patient with ourselves. Whatever it is that is better. It's better to take some times to see, to view, to sit back and reflect and introspect and see what is unnecessarily the conflict of what you put in for yourself, and know what's right for yourself. And the descriptions of the world is the confusions to see self and not love oneself. You got to love yourself by putting in that work, because you would enjoy doing what you want to do, because it's fun, it's enjoyable, it's doable, and it is the description to describe who you are. And in the society of just rigidity, you got to be more flexible. And in another, you describe your society as you describe anything else, and your description of the things that you do, or of the things that you say, and observe the outcome, that who you are, that what you're doing is a blessing. As you get to relax, to meditate, to just be away, and you can be in tune with yourself or be with friends, is to reveal the thing that you observe, to know who, and the law of this universe that begin with yourself is really the time of any time that you describe another. And anytime you describe anything in the external world, it is also realized that it comes first from the internal world, from the inside out. And we may not perceive it that way, but as fortunate as we are, realizing that you are describing yourself at this moment, time, space, reality. This is again not to shame you. So don't shame yourself. It is to understand within yourself what is it that within yourself that you want to make that change, the grand change, to better yourself in this reprogramming, recalibrating, reconfiguring this world that we are living in. It's like the video games, right? Within this belief with nature, being that peaceful warrior with yourself, with oneself, you will no longer describe the person or that circumstance or anything else. You take yourself responsibility for yourself 100%. And from that perspective, if it is limiting, again, within our mind, there's limitless. So don't shame yourself, and open mind, open yourself, open your pathway, open your heart, have love, and understanding that yourself evolve, just like a caterpillar evolved metamorphosis to a butterfly, right? That's something that we see visually happen. However, as human, we evolve through our mind, a cognitive apparatus, as we calibrate the process of a cognitive and understanding yourself and evolve that. Because when you evolve it, you become a lot abundant, harmonious in the bridge of innocent in this incident towards creating of serene deputy, of synchronicity, and the desired creation that you and I co-create, and cover yourself with the chill of love, so hatred can just be dispelled from the higher self-expression through your intuition, your hunch, your inspirations, and that desire of the aspiration to do it, and to bring forth as you put in the effort of the fortitude. And that's just why it's very important to me to convey a message that don't shame yourself, don't assume other people shame you. All right, have the self-love, and I recommend it to everyone. Self-love as a personal trainer, as a coach, as a martial artist, is the desire for us to create in this unification of entire sequence and bring it forth into our existing reality. Reshape your destination as you contribute to rejoice in this moment and create and also reflect that value, the value that we set for ourselves in the journey. Because it's not It's not about just the destination. It's also about the journey that we're in, which was in and of itself is evolution. And believe it that in a journey of discovering ourselves, we will evolve, we will gain experience, and as we learn, as we teach, it is the secrets that is of the universe, and we will act now no matter what, and to never give up on our life trajectory of all of the belief that have been bestowed upon us, have been injected upon us. It is that you need to consent to that form or patterns of the algorithm and the structure that being secretly being drawn to you. But spiritually, if it's something more in the harmonious state of your well-beings, with it itself is a harmonious way and pathway of what you will become forth of loving kindness, because you would like to be that of that high caliber, that of the mentor, of the someone who you would look up to, because we live in a day and age in the modern time, since day and age, since time immemorial, that the externalized in reality from our vision is no small value. Appearances is just no small value. Is it the identity, that self-image is brought into the journey, on the journey of being in alignment with yourself, the vision and visionaries, and the identity of the futuristic and the artists who paint the last stroke of brush of the higher self. You reflect back on the journey that you realize that you are creating it, the painting the picture, right? And as we cleansing our mind, as we are here and enjoying and just being and cleansing and journaling and vocalizing our point of view and sharing our experience and learning and growing and being a part of the grander life that has to offer here in America, that has been infrastructure, the scheme of the things that I don't believe. We are just here to bring forth what we have learned, what we can share that could benefit the human species. That is the desired a part of us, that we would like to make that change. Because when I was knowledgeable, I would like to change the world, but then I got wise. Now I want to change myself. That brings forth the bigger pictures in harmoniously relationship with all the people that are in the environment, to circumstances and information as we have been consuming and just regurgitated. And now the goal of art is to rise and raise the consciousness awareness of the eco family and the animals that coexist with us. It is the goal of the peaceful warrior. As a fruitarian, your consciousness is part of the design of the divine mind. The plan is to realize, wake up the individual of each being spiritually of their higher consciousness, as we here inhabited here on earth, where there's Mother Nature here who are able to send the wind of words into an air canal and have us to see our identity of the nature as we are, as she is, and as everyone are, that of a higher self, expressing oneself through dances, to love, to music, to art, paint, and everything that orchestrated with that mental faculty that we bring out from the first the mind, then the subconscious that have been there will associate with the conscious, and then with the subconscious interconnectedness is interpretations that will bring forth to the reality of this 3D dimensionality. It is the perspective of this reality to shape our experience, and with the bliss and with the gratitude that for the opportunity. And now I am also reaffirming itself, very importantly, that to reaffirm itself as our nature, peaceful warrior, as conveying this message, interpretation of the people, the nature, the animals are inherently one in this environmental circumstances, information that we have been consuming and regurgitating and reawakening and elevate the consciousness as we live in this outside world, and the paradigm starting to shift, and the holistic view, not just the drugs abuse, creating our experience with the other in the world which we represent, people, environment, circumstance, and information. Our goal is to evolve and to shift our paradigms and to rise and raise above the deprivations and ascensions, raising the consciousness, bring ourselves into an alignment. As we can look at this as the self-love, the self-acceptance, the self-actualization, self-realization, the self-image with what we desire to create. another with the world, in nature, in harmony, the reflection of what we desire to be, to become, to be human, to see it in our experience with people and environment, and the circumstances that we are in, and also information that we will be consuming. Just like that, we appreciate all that has the access to the key of the pillars, my heart, spirits. It's reflections that you have heard me mention many times before. Mind, heart, and spirits. The mind, the heart, nirvana, the kingdom of heaven, the spirits, the physical, the physique, the nature, the elements, earth, fire, wind, and water, the consciousness. That is what it is. It is this amazing phenomenon that I would love to share with you as we becoming, as we seeing what made out of the things inside of the spirits to this appearances, to this reality, to this view, technology, that we never give up on our life trajectory in its reality. Things that are not seen, it is loyalty to that reality, which means we may not see whatever it is, but we first got to see it in our mind eyes, and thus will come to fruition to make that things appear. As a loyal person, peaceful warrior, fruition, love fruits, fruitarians will reap that fruits in a matter of time, as you are patiently taking care of yourself, taking care of your visions in the moment. And as we can say, I can see the fact, the world see what you want to see, to be the best here, the best, what's the best it will ever be, and believe in the unseen state that the words first form was the thoughts, words, and actions. There's no denying that, the fact that as we believe it, put in the work, you will achieve it. The dreams, because when you have dreams, the dreams will come true from the unseen state of mind. Because if you can remain loyal to the unseen state, some way, some shape or form, it will happen. Keep your mind open, keep your heart blossoming, and it will confirm the fruitions. In other words, we're starting to see the other world reflect the unseen, which means the vision that we have seen within ourselves that we hasn't yet seen, it will come to a state of poof, magically appear like miraculously in the circumstances information and being interpreted from the inside out, from the world of spiritual realms to this universe of this 3D dimensionality, the reality, and we see physically the form, the physique, the here now, as one is speaking. In the deeper and the subconscious mind, within the shift of our paradigms, accumulation of so many things subconsciously through visually from simulations and interpretations and other different experiences as we grow from childhood, right, to a boy, adolescent, to a man, and will be a middle man, an old man, and a grandpa, and beautiful spirits all around. And we see that the information that present itself from the outer world, we give ourselves the permission and we allow ourselves to just be. We just be human. That is your interpretations, your movements, the way you do things, the way you place yourself, the way you make that change, the way you evolve, the way that you shift your paradigm. That is the way of the pillars. The 3 pillars is the key that have the access to evolve from the deprivations and to scale up to places where you never thought is possible. We desire something greater and grander in life. It is meant for us to evolve. It is the perspective based on what show up and what we see and what we love and what we adore, what we succumb to the criteria of affirmations, affirm that in the contribution with what we have desire and create now and bear to fruitions and endure with patience that the things that we plant, the fruits will reap. The result is sweet, and it's a concept that we have learned, and yet we burn it with candlelight so we can continue staying up in a day and just keep on pushing forth with the effort of fortitude until the candlelights still remain lit. We will regerminate it to a different candle so it can stay lit. That concept that is the study that one propel, the ever-going, everlasting, ever ignite, to ignition the flame, to keep on moving, to live the life that is meant to live. Mentioning many of time that as we reveal our polarity of the masculine and feminine, of the dark and the light, and of the Buddha, of Mara, of the Jesus Christ and Saint, it is the activities of this receptivity that we are here. We are receptive to everything, but make sure to be attached to nothing. Most desirable is the attention on what we can give and reach and react and reveal the loyalty to that interpretation of this reality here. And of course, meditation to relax, which means you got to be true to yourself. That's loyalty. That is the five senses that add on this one of the six senses to be scheduling for yourself, whether eating healthy, being a vegan or vegetarian, and doing your work, your training, your movement, your yoga, your martial arts, and to have love, to share love, to give love. It's a thermostat. It is the meter of the showing. It is the polarity of the masculine and feminine. It is the hot and cold. It is the north and south. It is the in between. It is the highest form of the elevation, of the evolution of this degree of hot and cold. We go to the middle to warm ourselves up to be here. And it is what Nicholas Tesla would say, the ether. It is the calling. It is the beyond the subconscious mind. It is the superconscious mind, in the degree of which is higher self. It is the God-like force. It is beyond the lower frequency, and it's colder if it's you in a lower frequency. But at the same time, within the middle path, within the fasting, you can feel the coldness, which means you are able to withstand the cold, endure the coldness as well too. It is the absolute standard to be able to withstand the cold, because your body acclimate and adapt to it as the body just reheat yourself, because you will shiver, and then it will adapt. If not, you will move your body in mobility to degree to adapt to it, to sweat, to heat up the body. That's another way of doing it. In other words, once your body shiver, give you a cold goosebump, it has adapted to degree. That is an interpretation of the polarity. Taking love and hate that we can make and assign them two together, it's going to be neutral, content, happiness. It is joyous. It is being happy alone without being lonely. And that is the experience that we have in the interaction with people and environment and circumstances and informations. And most of all, when you are that you are, being that you are, because who you are, no one can take that away from you. In this paradigm of information, so flooded with many misconceptions, many connotations, many biased information that we can extract from, but that's when you use your discernment and learn from your past. As a future, present, now, we make the future the best of our ability by doing what we can do now, here in present time. And in this moment, as we evolve past the past of the history, and appear that the past has taught us a lesson, as we understand that we need to learn more, we need to grow more, we need to evolve more. We keep on moving, of improving, of finding the best in ourselves, and find the best in others as well too, instead of finding fault in others. I mean, that's so easy just to find people faults, because you always just want to make some trouble. Why do you want to do that? Why can you find a different aspect in the person of this, of your own interpretation, your own perspective of the spectrum of their life, of their small meter of inches within their form from head to toe? There is so many incredible things in the beauty of the goddess and goddess, as revealed about yourself, ourself, and more accurately, that reveal of your own essence, and putting your attention going based on your reactivity, or you got to be more receptivities of their goodness, meaning they recreate themselves, each and every one trying to be a better human being. Just like a fruits, mango, it's not yet first ripe, it's still green. In a matter of time, days, weeks, and months, it will become yellow or red. It will be scrumptious sweetness, and that is from the past, present, and future of that mango. That's likewise a person who are becoming that sweetness. And that is the state that gives us the enormous amount of understanding and reflection, that is the introspect that we all have gone through major change and shift. It has the cause and effect. It is a reflection of the data that we about ourselves and about the nature. As we learn from nature, nature knows all. And we learn from from nature, from Mother Nature, from God of your life, from Tamachia, from God light. It's information that evolved, that we endowed, and it is bestowed upon us as we go in tune in ourselves, or out in tune with nature, evolving our paradigm as we shift on this dimension, on this third parts of this reality to higher self within this synchronicity and serendipity and the giving force that is here, and the beings that is very degree between you and I, that we have crossed paths and we have communicate, we have offer love to one another, friendship, relationship, the power to choose rather than allowing ourselves to just giving that evil thoughts of judgmental. Why? That's why when we communicate, we understand, we get to know a little bit more about each other. But if you're not feeling it, then we don't have to understand that maybe you're tired, or maybe there's some other day we will have the understanding that we can communicate and get to know each other even more. Understanding our own present mental state of mind is that not everybody will communicate all the time, but we have to give them space and time, and time. Time is what it takes for people to open up a little bit more. And within the state of consciousness in this matters, what matters is that you matters, peaceful warrior, and everyone else matters as well too. In a degree that we're seeing things and not understanding it because they're more of like enigma, and you cannot judge them, you cannot shame them, you cannot hate them because you don't know them. So we got to raise ourselves from a lower level of vibration and bring ourselves up higher of our mental, as it will catapult us to a higher sentient beings as we are meant to be, as divine minds is sublime. So let's calibrate it to more fine tune in this lifeline, in a state of consciousness, instead of being the lower level of vibrations, because you want to be a servant to what is higher level of yourself, finding yourself being reactive to that goodness of your attentions. Is going in certain ways of direction that will bring you the fortunes, the abundance of the world that is serving, and the world of loving and beautiful, and just come to consecration of that beautiful and gorgeous lady that oh my goodness, gratitude. It is a receptive it is the receptivity of non-negativities. It is a receptivity of non-negativity. It is the receptive to the positive and reject of that negative. It is the emotion of receptivity. Doesn't necessarily have to be negative emotion to be reactivity, to be the positivity instead. Because if you want to be reactive, as we mentioned, the first thing was reactive to positivity and reject the negativities, and experiencing the yourself of that feeling of that changes of the shift that you made. That's a paradigm shift, not desire of the experience of the negativity, because you got a choice to be happy. So make yourself happy by creating yourself the best of your ability beyond measure, because you are powerful beyond measure. It is not in a way of ego, but if it's ego, make it the ego into the lightness and bring the dark in a way that is helpful and beneficial within yourself as we evolve in this perspective around, and also straightforward as well too, not just around but go straight forward, not just the curve, but to affirm that within the part of your shift in the mind, within your part of your recalibrating your mind, within that ascension from the lower state, as we react to the positivity, we become more joyous because we did something that is, wow, it's wonderful, it is beautiful, it is information that we choose consciously in the beginning, and now allow ourselves to do something that's good, allow ourselves to do something that what we want to be treated as well too, to do good, to be good, and to allowing to internalize the subconscious mind that have been recalibrated from the negative to a positive, to have that automatic experience of something more pleasant in the reality that we are living in. Is so beautiful. It is the blessing that we see of that beautiful spirit as well too, and we say gratitude. I fully turn love you. It's the perspective of how you choose to experience. And when we see it, I say, I love you, beautiful spirit. I fully turn love you. And gorgeous lady, I want to get to know you. You know, that is something that we all love and enjoy, and yeah, we enjoy that. It is the remaining of love, because as the opposite sex speaking to a lady, you know, we love you. within the unseen, and we remain loyal to the unseen state for confirmation, evolving from the past of the negativities to the current positivities, the paradise of this four element earth, fire, wind, and water. Because paradise is the islands that we all like to partake, to be in. So being you yourself of this physique is also the paradise, the island. So be that paradise, be that sunshine. It is important, the elements that we are thinking of ourselves, because it's not selfish. Self-love is self-love. It's not selfish. As we're thinking harder and we are using the critical thinking in the same way of the idea that is behind the subconscious mind that has been reprogrammed without us being conscious of it, it is the paradigm shift that recreating itself to become the best of ourselves, to experience the best for ourselves and for others as well too. It is a real joy. It is to take rejoice in others and celebrate our small win. And as the result, trying to become the better version. Excuse me. As the result, to become the better version, we allow others also to become their best versions as we help in lifting up and elevate their suffering, right? We alleviate that because we want to see people happy, joyous, and also we leave them be as well too, unless they really need our help. As we thinking our way through our life journey and creating this result that we would like to taste the fruits of wisdom and fruit of knowledge and the blessing and the bliss and the, oh my goodness, the scrumptious of the sweet, juicy fruits. Looking at this from the totality of this different perspective from the general spiritual unseen path that we are loyal to it, and we choose the different pair of evolving our paradigms, and we believe in that one. As we think in a similar way, most of us do, and as we think to become the better version of ourselves, as we perceive from the dark and the light, and we come to the light because that's what we enjoy doing more, and giving ourselves the time space from all those distractions. It is the thinking that makes us different. It is the intellectual as a human being. It is an interpretation and perspective as we perceive things in a higher ladder, higher elevated mountain from a tree that is just hasn't yet been reached. Only the ego can. It is the perspective that show up that bring the result, what we choose to feel, to taste, to touch, to experience, to thinking and perceiving, to creating of the specific reality of the according to the tongue taste of the repertory vibration of this mind, physique, this body, this life, this is an aspiration. It is what inspires us to moving, to evolving within ourselves. And we see ourselves progressing as we expressing ourselves, right? More than we can imagine. And we flow through life as a water stream flow.